advantages of our product.
They never lose their cool.
Expand your mind. But I've got a better source of information.
Yeah. What's going on? Dirty 30 Beatdown Brown, E equals MC squared. How are you, brother?
I'm present, fam. How we doing today?
Man, always good. Always good, man. Chilling out. Just sitting back observing the scene, man.
2025, man. 2025. How about that?
2025. Starting off real easy, man. Real easy.
Yes, sir.
We gonna go. Which Jay we working with first? Which Jay we working with first on this one, man?
Let's do the cold, man. We can do the cold, do the good first, and then flush it on out. So.
Okay. So right now, after trying to rebuild his legacy after that most ungracious bow out, J. Cole's No Role Modelz makes history as it goes down diamond once again. Nice. It's cool when cats can, get they funky off and really come out. And he has definitely a loyal rabid fan base. So coming off that Forest Hills Drives, that No Role Modelz, coming off of that one is officially diamond. How you feel about it, man?
Hey, that's like I said, man. I want to shout out the positive, man. That's a beautiful thing, man. He definitely been paying his dues. What's that? 10? Diamond is 10.
Yeah, and this one actually did 14.
Oh, woo!
And as they said, it's only one other song has ever achieved diamond without a music video, and that's Chris Stapleton, Tennessee Whiskey.
Damn.
So that's crazy. We know how big that that Tennessee Whiskey is. So to say, basically is this and that is the only ones without a video that's gone diamond before. That's nuts, man.
That is an achievement in itself, and it should be shouted out. Which is why it made it to the docket this evening. But yeah, shout out to J. Cole and Dreamville, man. Take that victory lap. Oh yeah, man. That's dope, man. Damn. 14.
Yeah, man.
Woo.
The only weird thing for me in this new model, because I know they're counting streams on that and everything else. It's weird when we're not talking about physicals.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I understand if we're talking iTunes downloads and all that other stuff, going into the marketplaces where you're actually paying for the song. Okay, cool. But all these counts of sales and charting and everything else when there are no actual literal releases is always weird to me. Because it's just like, okay, you sold 14 million watts. Because we can, and it's not being a hater. This is
right.
It's really looking back at, it's just like with this whole thing with the lawsuit coming from Drake saying this stuff was botted and fake propped up and all this other stuff. And we're looking at things, it really made me start looking at the vaporware nature of what music is now, because was trying to explain to one of my homeboys about, like, he's a little bit younger than us, like, yo, this album exists, yo, this track, I remember this, I remember when we first got this, and we was just banging and running this back and yada yada yada. And it's like, I couldn't send him a link on one of the DSPs because, like, it don't exist on, when I was talking about the particular album, it doesn't exist on DSPs. And it's like, oh, this is real music. I own the physical of that. I had the CD. I ripped it to my hard drive. I've got it on my phone because I took that CD back when I still had a CD drive, ripped it down, and it's sitting there for me to partake of now. Like, I literally like, yo, man, just come to the ride and listen to it real quick. Because that's the only way I could present it to them. It wasn't even on YouTube or anything else. It don't, as far as it goes, it doesn't exist. I was looking for a couple other joints that I heard that I remember from back in the day. It's like, this really don't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's to their selection. We only have so many platforms where we go on, and it's like, well, hell, our crates are are deeper than what they have because they
Yeah,
never even heard not even one song, not even an album. You know what I mean? Because like you said, I've done that multiple times, especially like old '80s joints or whatever. I was lucky. I actually found Fatback Band on iTunes. Actually popped up. I was like, well, I'll be damned.
come
But
on, dog. Let's
stuff
go
like
there.
that.
Remember how crazy it was when first you got a hold of Scott and Raven,
Oh
and
my
then
God. See what I'm saying?
I hollered at old money, and old money's like, I got you.
Got yep.
I throw the whole joint down, and Cass was up there. It's like, yo, tell him I need a burn too. Tell
Yep.
him I need a burn. And Cass was up there paying they hard-earned money for a burn because it was out of print. You couldn't get a
Exactly.
hold of that
You had to
record.
have somebody who had a turntable and who could rip it down for you. And then you had to find him. I'm like, dude, meet me at you gonna be at B-Dubs? I got that for you, man. Just bring it down. It was like a damn near a drug deal. Like trying to link up with this dude, man. Damn. Give me my
Yeah,
dope, you know.
yeah. That was that, man.
Mhm.
I got stuff right now. That's wild, man. It's like literally that's where
Now I
we're
got to go
sitting at.
find that because I got that damn CD. I particularly put that up somewhere. I got to find that damn CD now. Damn it, I'm gonna do that when we done it. I'm gonna find that damn thing, the one I got from him too, man. Damn, that's crazy. And I'm gonna try to find that. I never even thought about looking that up to see if it was up on there, which I doubt it is. But all the stuff we grew up on, it's either you got to find somebody who has the copy. So that's why I relate 100% what you trying to show youngin. Like I can't even, like you said, come with me to my whip, man. And, I ain't no weirdo shit. But just come with me to my whip, listen to this, and this is what I'm trying to. I can only explain it this way. I can't,
Yeah,
send
because
you a
I
link.
can't send you a link. I can't do
Yeah.
groups like Dynasty, Adventures in the
Ah,
Land of Music, coming off that Camp Low, man. It's like
man.
I can't explain this to you.
Hmm.
This exists. You can't go to. I ain't going to shout out them DSPs because they ain't paying us. But you know what I'm saying.
That part.
You can't run to them and go get this. You have to physically own it.
Hmm.
And it's just like, shout out to my man and his Rabbit fan base re-releasing these albums. Because honestly, I didn't think about the fact of going back to everything besides his studio albums. He had to re-release these mixtapes because that was another thing. If you
Yeah.
wasn't there during that mixtape era, you didn't have Friday Night Lights. You
Yeah.
didn't have all this stuff. I gotta put it on the DSPs because if you wasn't during that era, you don't have this. You we're like 10 years removed. In 10 years in the future, if Wayne doesn't hurry up and turn around and find some way to put all that mixtape run that he had that was
Yeah.
crazy during that era, it's only gonna be a myth of like, yo, Wayne went on a crazy run during the early
Die,
2000s. It's nuts.
diehards, of music, when in his tribe or whatever, will have that. Like us, we could find it. We know how
Yeah,
to find particular
but
things or whatever. But like I understand for the masses, like somebody who's coming up in the next 10, 15 plus years or whatever, they won't even know nothing about it unless they have somebody who knows something about it. I understand exactly what you're hitting at, but
yeah,
yeah,
it
man, it's
it
it's
do-
it's
it
crazy.
doesn't exist.
Yep.
Think about it. Who do you know right now that understands what a screw tape is?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I
If
know
you're
what
not
it
from
is.
down there and
Yeah,
you have elders who still have that because they
yeah,
still, out the trunk with it. Some of them are still ripping doing that, you know, uh that kind of service down there. But yeah, man, as far as up here, nah, nobody who has a clue tape, who has
dog.
a Kid Capri mix or whatever. Those are gone,
Yeah.
so
Who knows what it is when you hear a freestyle and hear sycamore? Get it, Joy.
those days are gone, man. Like I said, that like the whole ringtone thing, that whole thing, that Soldier Boy shit or whatever, all that got washed, and
Yeah, man.
now they're getting their credit, because he was the early first dude on YouTube and doing all that other shit. So yeah, man, it's crazy how all of a sudden, you know, um, these guys are getting their just due, like what you call it, J. Cole just went diamond. But again, I see you scratching your head on. but how does that factor in? Because it's not actual copies. You
Yeah,
know, this
it's
the digital age. They're counting that, and I was like, oh, that's different. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but yeah, that's still it's different. It's still different.
it's a wild situation, and it really changes up how you approach and look at all of this stuff, how you feel
Hmm.
about it, what it is, and what it actually represents to anything and everything for what's going on. We celebrate it. It's good stuff.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, man,
definitely.
this
No
is
knock to him, but we still scratching our heads, like and I'm sure he understands as well. If he ever get a chance to come across this conversation about our, it's not a gripe or whatever. It's just our questions, like how does that, what are the metrics on that? We
yeah.
understand it's a combination of both, because I guess Jay is still in that era where you could buy. No, no,
He
I don't. Could you?
I don't know how many he had physicals.
Yeah, because he
He
gave Jay-Z a CD. He said he
yeah.
gave him his demo or whatever. So yeah, that's why I was like, hold on, Jay. Yeah, he's with us. He was there.
And
So
I know he's dropped vinyls for stuff because funny enough, Forest Hill Drives is sitting up in Walmart
damn.
on vinyl.
Okay.
So I know you can cop physicals of his stuff, but
Hmm.
this isn't like back in the day where it's just like, oh nah, we talking about you copped it.
Yep.
Is that's what it is.
Hmm.
And
You cop the tape, you cop the single, you cop the CD, and you cop the wax.
mm-hmm,
Again, physical copies out the gate. How many units? You know, going to getting your shit recorded at disc makers or copied at disc makers. Shit
mm-hmm.
like that. Yeah, those were the struggle days.
Yeah,
And
man. When you like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna drop an album. This is we're living in an era where it's a beautiful thing because I'm finding more artists. Because the fact of the matter is, just like we're bringing this show to you right now
Mhm.
via the airways, via nowhere. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? We're wired up and we're coming to you and entering your home via a device that sits in your pocket.
right on.
That's dope. But at the same time, it's like these metrics are skewed, weird, and everything else.
That's why I can't wait to not to cut you off, fam, but I can't
Hmm.
wait before I forget. I want you to help me understand the breakdown on the next segment on how they jerked him. We talk about metrics and stuff like that, but he's actually in it. You know what I mean? It was like
Yeah,
he's how they snatch him up out of there, saying that he's not part of that. So
yeah.
we go ahead.
We can go ahead. We can go ahead and move.
Okay,
Shout out to J. Cole for what you got there.
right on.
Hopefully, all jokes aside for what occurred last year, we know that he's releasing the Fall Off coming up, and this is all basically his extended rollout leading up to the release of the Fall Off, and
Hmm.
hopefully that sees success for what he's got going on, and he leads this into bringing a great project going forward with that. So, shout out to you. Now, where we going right now? Like we said, the other J we covering right now, we looking at J-Kwon, man.
Oh yeah,
And
blast from the past, folks. J-Kwon, y'all.
yeah,
Hopefully y'all
everybody
remember
in the
who this is.
club getting tipsy.
Tipsy. Yeah.
And what's
Go for
going
it.
on with that now is Shaboozey went and took what was a club hit on the rap end and turned that into a country hit, one of the biggest songs in the country. No pun intended, one of the biggest songs in the country that got snubbed when it came to the CMAs. Now it's up for a Grammy Song of the Year. It's up for a whole country record of the year and everything else with the Grammys with that season coming up. And they the Grammy committee said that J-Kwon is not eligible for a Grammy because the song was sampled in, is what they said. And it's like, yeah, it's the basis of the whole joint. So I'm gonna let you bring your feelings, and then I'm gonna go back with a little historical fact on this right here.
That's why I'm still scratching my dome because I don't understand how they just decided and be like, okay, the whole premise of this song is based off J-Kwon, right?
Mhm.
That pretty much hell. It's the song. It's his
Yeah.
song or whatever. But he's not eligible. Help me bridge this, man. What am I missing?
Okay.
You see,
You
this is
know,
why you put me on the spot, man. I'm flat footed. You caught me flat footed, man. I don't understand how they just snatch a dude off saying that he's not, he's not part of the process when it's his song.
it made me go three places right off top. And it made me go to a place of this was a takeover and an angry situation
Okay.
where something got snatched. It made me go to a place of where somebody literally shouted somebody out and put them on. And then it also made me go to a place of there was a creator that I know purposely uses other stuff and makes stuff happen. So I'll go to the third one first. It made me go to Fatboy Slim. And Fatboy Slim, if everybody doesn't understand what he was when it happened, that whole electronic craze in the late 90s, early 2000s was nuts. He did that Rockefeller skank where he snatched the ultramagnetic MCs and mix some other stuff in. Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother. Break it down now. The Funk
Yeah.
Soul Brother.
Huge hit.
Huge hit. That's why I said people don't understand how huge that song was. It was everywhere. You couldn't get away from it. And he had other joints. He had the Weapon of Choice like that. He had that Praise You where he took the old rock song, you know what I'm saying? He had a long, long time together. You know, all that stuff. And I looked at that one. One, I didn't realize that he never won a Grammy for those songs. He only won a Grammy for the joint he did with Bootsy, and it was only for the video. So it never came into question for his songs. Because I'm like, Rockefeller Skank didn't win a Grammy.
Right.
It won a Brit Award. It won a couple other awards, Recording Academy Awards, but not for the Grammys. So it never came into question for him with those songs. But then we're going to go first for a situation where it wasn't peaceful. And I'm looking at I'll Be Missing You, Puffy with Sting.
Oh, yeah, that's the clear case. But Sting said he gets paid almost $1,000 a day for that song.
Yeah, it's
he took all of it. He was like, he didn't ask me. I'm taking all of it. Go ahead.
Sting gets the publishing. He performed at the Grammys with it.
Yep.
Puffy got the Grammy for it. Puffy and Faith and them got the Grammy for it. Sting did not get a Grammy.
Oh, okay.
So, and that was the first one I went to was like, okay, let's see here. Because that's your darling right there. Did Sting get a Grammy for that? Sting did not get a Grammy for that. So, with that precedent being set, it kind of, no, you don't like it. But at the same point, it's up there's like, okay, if Sting didn't get a Grammy, I kind of can't be so mad for J-Kwon. Now, my other scenario that I went through that I looked at where the artist turned around and was up there is like, let's look out for the homie and get him taken care of. I looked at Uptown Funk, Bruno Mars and Ronson when they went back and took care of Trinidad James.
Got you.
I was up there like, okay, did Trinidad James get a Grammy for that? Because Bruno Mars and Mark Ronson went and made sure they put him on as a writer for that Don't Believe Me, Just Watch.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, did he get a Grammy? Also did not get a Grammy. And they literally like, no, he's a writer. He's getting paid. We're going to take care of him. And he didn't get a Grammy.
Got it.
So once again, in all three of those scenarios, all of them got looked at as like, no, these cats is getting paid.
I hope J-Kwon is getting paid. You know how they do rappers, man. You know how they do rappers. I hope his paperwork is right.
This is where I hope everything, like you said, is cool for them because, yeah, they will jerk somebody in a heartbeat and they will be sitting up there with the bunny ears on their pockets. You know what I'm saying? Because they signed a screwed up deal. You know, it's like, oh, you know, if you're looking at who the actual writer is on Tipsy, even though we know J-Kwon wrote it, is Tommy Schwartz is the writer because he's the label head and he signed this screwed up deal.
I just saw a Daz interview and he was talking about how he just got his just due, his compensation from Death Row when Snoop purchased it. or whatever. He was like, man, a lot of cats was taking credit, getting checks off all the production Daz did. He didn't have his paperwork right, and didn't know where to go because nobody knew who owned the label. But then when Snoop got it, he was like, man, I got a nice fat check once everything got settled. Before Snoop actually took the reins, he made sure everything was in place and like, no, dude, we don't even know you. How did you say you produced this track? How's your name even on this? That was just Daz and the NPC. Well, you were nowhere near, you had no connection to this. You just bought, the label and you was sitting on it and collecting those checks. And they said Snoop straightened that out and Daz got his just due, for all that shit he did for Death Row.
I will, until I'm blue in the face, I will keep repeating this to anybody entering the game and all those who have been in the game. We got lied to when we started making hip hop as compared to and making hip hop and making rap. And yes, there is a distinction, but that's a whole nother conversation. When we started making records as compared to everybody else, understand there's a difference between a producer and a composer. And the reason why, I know he's Voldemort, but the reason why Puffy can be considered a producer is because the fact of the matter is what a producer does, going with another Voldemort, looking at somebody like Ronnie Spector. Ronnie Spector didn't compose. Ronnie Spector was a dude that would sit up there and be like, yo, I'm sitting here with the mix engineer and you coming out of school for this. It's like, yo, the mix engineer was a producer. The recording engineer is a producer. The mastering engineer is a producer. There is an executive producer, and they all sit there together with the composer and the songwriter, who is also a producer and a writer, and the vocal producer, who is also somebody else. They all sat together, and they would work together with the executive producer and be like, hey, do me a favor. They need to say this different. Do me a favor. That cat's guitar is whack. Get him off that Telecaster and get him on a Rickenbacker. Hey, do me a favor. Switch it to this cabinet, not that cabinet. Hey, run it through this EQ, not that EQ. Switch that snare up. You take that snare off that one and go and get this snare. And when you sit back and do all that stuff, that's what production is. Change this up in the mix. Change the sound of this. And like that. That's what a producer does. But what Daz was doing, what these other cats are doing as composers, that's writing credits. That's credits you don't have to wait for. That's credits you're supposed to get off top. And that's what you're supposed to be getting. Your name is supposed to be up front on that one, not on the back end. And that's what we got bamboozled out of our writing credits, because they started telling the MC, you're the only one that wrote, so you're the only one supposed to have writing credits. No, the composer is supposed to get writing credits too, because you wrote the music. Even if you sampled and worked on the MPC, you still transformed that sample into what it is. You are now a writer on this right now. You sat up and you wrote that nice little keyboard line on there, that bass line, whatever. You went and tapped in them drums. Yeah, you wasn't on the set. You was on the ASR. You was on the MPC. You was on the TR-808, whatever it was. You are now a composer, and you're supposed to have writing credits. And we got jerked for them writing credits. And then all of a sudden, because writing credits is less than production credits. When you as the MC goes and tells that composer, hey, do me a favor, turn that bass line down or drop the drums out on this. Guess what? Now you as the MC get production credits. You're supposed to get credits two ways.
Supposed to, but it never went down. It never went down that way. But now, hopefully,
so, be aware that you're supposed to get paid two ways. Be aware you're supposed to have it two ways going. Everybody's supposed to shake each other's hand and make this happen, man. It's just like the fact of they brought up, and I'm a land the plane. I'm gonna go away and I'm gonna land the plane. You had this new Doechii video that came out with folks actually acting going into this video, with the trailers for the video actually having acting going on it. People are supposed to get their SAG cards because of this now.
That's
because of what happened. Schoolboy Q, Zach, what's my man? What's Zach's last name? Zach Fox. All these folks are supposed to be getting their SAG cards for that. You're now an actor. You're now in the Screen Actors Guild for what you did in the music video and the lead up. We have to be educated on getting these things so you could go and dip in all of these resources. These resources, if you do enough of this stuff, does pay a pension, does provide health insurance once you have so much involved on doing all of this stuff. That's why you do this content creation like that. Understand what you're supposed to be getting. So therefore it's like, yeah, I may not get an award for it, but I got my SAG card. I'm getting my I'm now a member of a performing rights organization. I got a PRO because I did production on this. I got a PRO because I did writing on this. Have your stuff organized so you could get your paper, man, and don't sign these whack ass deals where somebody who has no talent that did nothing on it but watch you do your thing is getting paid off and everything else. Shout out to J-Kwon for creating the original track that made one of the biggest hits in country music right there. Forget all y'all for hating and blackballing all of creators that look like us while we up there making y'all dance and making y'all move y'all feet. And this is what we're talking about. Like you said, we're not shaping the culture. We are the culture. Because the fact of the matter is, all of y'all are up there surviving off the backs of what we do. And y'all just don't like it when it looks and sounds like us.
See, that's
And
full circle, sir. Full circle how we did that this week, man. Full circle. God dang. Yes, sir. We are the culture, man. So yeah, man. Damn. Thank you. This is why I wanted you to run point on this one, because I was like, connect the dots for me, man. I'm a little lost because more or less I was more frustrated. I was more pissed off because I was like, man, how y'all gonna leave him out? He's like, easy, big dog. But back up. It's not just him.
Like I said, if it was just him,
yeah,
and I had to go check historically. I like the fact that there's bookmarks
right on
that you can go immediately to.
Yeah,
you got 2-3 major bookmarks that you can go back to. It's like, all right, did he get one? Did he get one? Did he get one? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, same situation across the board on all of them. Yep. Okay, cool. Because this ain't a case of, like you said, going and buying a plaque. You know what I'm saying? To put the plaque on the wall. Is J-Kwon going to have a plaque on the wall for that song? Absolutely. He can literally turn right back around and be like, yo, see that right there?
Yep.
When that song go diamond, on vaporware, because this ain't the era of physicals. Right. When that goes diamond, he's going to be able to have a diamond plaque. He's already got a platinum plaque sitting up there for that one. Yeah, I did Tipsy, and Tipsy did this, but this version of Tipsy did this. And look at it; it's right there on the wall. Uh-huh. I got it. So he can rest his laurels on that one. Like I said, hopefully he's getting paid too.
Yes,
whatever.
We don't know the deals of the split on his end, so we just talking about the outside of the association with the Grammy and all that stuff, the nominations and stuff. But thank you again, fam, for that great breakdown. You put it right in in perspective, poignantly. Like, this person didn't get it, this person didn't get it. It ain't just him. That's how that shit go. Okay,
it's historically there's been a precedent set, so it's not just screw him. Right. It is what it is. So. We got it. We know it. It is what it is. We can only be so mad about it.
That's it. I'm over it. Like I said, it's 2025, man. I'm letting the shit ride. I'm good. Thank you again.
Anything else you want to cover and want to look at on this?
I'm good, fam. Thank you again for another great one. We'll be back at y'all next week doing it again. Thank you again, subs, and we appreciate y'all. If y'all got any suggestions, get down in the comments. Let us know. And yeah, man, we'll get at you.
Yep. TeePublic / the Beatdown. Make sure you get the merch. We are even looking at with Handsome Mandela got some stuff coming up for Left Leg of Gold, trying like that on the merch. We're looking at trying to do a combined store to make sure that everything's available to everybody. But make sure y'all checking us out. We are here with content for y'all all during the week. We got shorts and everything else going on. Shout out to all the family. And yeah, we gonna keep it moving and love y'all. We out. Peace.